Hello, my warriors of light and love. It's Heart Song here with another powerful, inspirational, and spiritual message for all of you beautiful, wonderful light workers out there. So, today I'm going to be talking about just the current state of things with the COVID going on and lockdowns and shutdowns and all of that stuff still in place. Um, from a spiritual perspective, of course, and just how much all of this is affecting us and how we're dealing with it and where all of this is really headed, and really why this is all happening right now, and what the powers that be are really up to these days. So kind of a lot to cover, and let's get started. So first of all, I hope you all are doing very well, and I hope that you are taking care of yourselves and treating each other well, and most of all, and above all, being very loving to yourselves during a time like this of intense change and crisis. So um, it's important to remember that through crisis like this, there's opportunities for great change, great positive change for us as a people, collectively and personally, spiritually as well, of course. What is really going on, guys? What is really going on right now with all of this? Why is it happening? Why is it happening now? The timing of everything. It's fascinating to me personally. Um, but I also know also really why it's kind of happening right now. So from a spiritual perspective, of course, we just had the last video I uploaded. I did the 444 gateway video, and so we just had that great gateway open and pass. And when these gateways open, guys, yeah, they're open temporarily, but the effects last a very, very long time past the openings, past the opening of these gateways. So um, that was a very powerful gateway, and a lot of light has been poured down upon us, and we're healing, we're changing, we're in the midst of a great change right now, and we're all going to be dealing with this differently, collectively and individually differently. So um, people are dealing with it in all different ways. People are coping in different ways. People are medicating and whatever else, and that's natural. I think that's going to happen given the circumstances and things like that. But spiritually, people are being challenged to awaken to who they really are and why they're really here, the true purpose here in this earthly plane. So for me personally, I've been pushed for a long time, many years to speak, just to speak, because I'm a messenger about the very sacred spiritual information that I have been given for so long. So that's been my challenge, and that's also my purpose. And so I've been pressed, really pressed and pushed to do these videos and to get this information out there for you guys so that you can begin to awaken yourselves and begin to discover who you really are and why you're really here, your true spiritual path in life, um, and whatnot. So that's my purpose, and that's why I'm here. But we're all being given these different messages, and we're all receiving them differently. And maybe for you, it's as simple as your job ended, your career might be over, and you are in no uncertain terms, basically being told you have to start over. You have to do something completely different. You have to reinvent yourself very quickly to be able to earn a living, and support your family, and to kind of get back on your feet. So, people are experiencing growth and change, in different challenging ways right now through all of this. But whatever it is for you guys personally, just know that it is a very, very good thing. I know it doesn't feel like it in the moment when we're going through such intense change, but it is a very, very good thing that you are going through it, because at the end of it, through all of it, your life is going to be better off for it. So I know in the moment, very challenging, very intense. Um, there's people are suffering out there, guys. I get that, but just know that things do happen for a good reason. That we're very guided, very protected, very unconditionally loved people, and that things like this don't happen to us. They happen for us, and that is something that we need to keep in mind, because it's easy to lose sight of that when we are going through such immense change very quickly too. We've all been forced to change our lives in such a short amount of time so quickly that it's been extremely stressful for a lot of people, and I understand that. But at the same time, there's a lot that we can learn. It's a grand opportunity for spiritual growth, personal growth, massive amount of change in all different areas of our lives. And obviously, things are never going to be the same. Um, but these are all good things, guys. They're all positive things. I know in the moment, again, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't seem like it. You might feel lost, and you might just feel like you just might feel the despair of everything and the heaviness of everything, and you might just feel very hopeless. But please just know that there is a very, very good reason that God has his hand on all of this, and that you are being guided for a very, very special reason, and that hope isn't lost. Okay, there's a very good reason for everything that's happening right now, and in the end, you will be very transformed, and you'll be better off for it. And so, just know that in your heart, and ask for guidance. Ask for guidance. Ask for that wisdom, that clarity to come to you. So that you can begin to see what you are really supposed to be doing right now. And I guarantee, like I've said before, it's about others. It's about helping others, and that we only prosper as a people, personally, and as humanity collectively, when we help each other. So as we all win, we win on a personal level. So um, a very challenging time that we're in right now, guys. So I get that. A very powerful time, very challenging time, but a very positive time as well. Spiritual growth abounds, and the light and the love of the one true creator pours down upon the earth. So that is the truth, and we are being guided divinely to our true self and our true purpose here. So this is a massive amount of transformation within a short amount of time, but it's needed, and it's being guided at the highest level. So while the powers that be here, the politicians and whatnot, the elite, the globalists, whatever you want to call them, scramble to take advantage, full advantage of the opportunities this crisis is affording them. Um, from a spiritual perspective, the same thing is being afforded to us. And we are being given the chance and the opportunity to be able to grow exponentially as spiritual people, and to connect with each other um, in that same way spiritually. You're probably like, well, how the heck are we supposed to connect? With all the social distancing and things like that. And I understand that, and these mediums, YouTube and the internet and things like that, is a great way to still connect with each other, and be able to share with each other all the good things that are going on, and all the victories that are going on in all of our lives, and whatnot. So I encourage you guys to really use these platforms to reach out to each other and connect, and to be able to um, become closer in that respect. But again, from a spiritual perspective, um, we are all one. We're all one, guys and gals. We are all brothers and sisters in the eyes of the one. And as we let our light shine, we are allowing others, we are giving others the permission to allow their light to shine as well. So don't be afraid to open up. Don't be afraid to allow your light to shine, because as you do that, you are empowering others to do the exact same thing, and so forth. So that's how it works, and it is the greatest work that there is on this earth that we can be doing for ourselves and each other. So never lose sight of that. That this is a great opportunity to go within and to meditate and to receive these messages from the Creator through your dreams and whatnot, and meditation and whatever it is that you do to connect to Source. Um, so great opportunities here, guys, for growth and expansion, but also I want you guys to know that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of a very, very large cycle. The next stage, the next cycle for us in our spiritual evolution as humanity, as human beings, as spiritual beings having a human experience first and foremost in this third dimensional plane of existence. So we are starting a massive cycle right now, and that is why it feels the way that it feels. That's why it feels so heavy at times, and it's been so challenging and tumultuous and chaotic and whatnot. So that's why most of this for the majority of the populace has not felt very good at all. Because this amount of massive change, as quickly as we are experiencing it as a people, it brings a lot to the surface. It is cleansing, it is clearing, and it is basically getting rid of everything that does not serve us anymore and does not serve the new heaven on earth, because that is what this is all really about from the highest level, guys, is the anchoring of that very sacred light, that very sacred unconditional love, and bringing the earth, raising the vibration of the earth, so that the new heaven on earth can exist here with us. Um, so that is on a grand scale and from the highest level, that's really what's going on spiritually. Here on the earthly plane, the powers that be are scrambling to implement their own agendas. And again, I've said it before and I will say it again, those agendas are all about conquering and dividing, manipulating, controlling, and making sure that they enslave us, because that's really what it's about, guys, for them. That's their purpose, that's their mission, and that's what they feel is right, is what they're supposed to be doing. And that will never change, guys. That will never change. They will always have that agenda, because that's the only thing they know. That's the agenda of this third dimension, this electromagnetic, dense third dimension, 666 vibrational energy. So that's all they'll ever understand. That's all they know, and so they're comfortable with that, and they've ruled for that for so many eons that that's all they know, and that's just what they do. That's the part that they are playing in this grand game. The part they've chosen to play. The part we've chosen to play is the opposite. So we've come here to stir up the status quo. We've come here to question everything, and I encourage all of you out there to question everything that is going on. Question and always question everything that's going on, not just what's going on right now, but just in general in life. Question authority, question everything, question the narratives, question the stories, question everything. So I've been blessed and cursed, so to speak, to be gifted with such a critical thinking mind. And I have always, it's gotten me in trouble, but in the past, but I will not change, and I will not stop questioning everything. And that's a very in a truly free and open society, guys. That is a very healthy and empowering thing, to have these debates, these open discussions about is this real? Is this right? Is this wrong? Why are we doing this? Can we be doing some things better? Things like that. So question everything, and you definitely should be questioning the motives of those who are quickly implementing their agendas right now. And I am talking about the multi-conglomerate, megalithic, corporocratic, uh, big pharma, big tech, all these companies, all the banking industry, the military industrial complex, everything that has been created and woven so tightly together to enslave every man, woman, and child on this planet. That is what I'm talking about. We need to start to rise up, guys, and we need to stand together, um, not only just spiritually, but we need to rise up and stand together as a people, physically, and we need to start to question all of these orders that they are barking out to us, because this establishment, this totalitarian establishment, does not want an empowered, an enlightened, an intelligent people to be questioning everything that they're saying to us, all their narratives, all their stories, because I'll tell you right now, guys, that's exactly what it is. It's a narrative. It's a story. It's their version of what they say is really going on. Okay, and we should not just simply believe everything that they say. We need to question everything. We need to be critically thinking in times like this, and we need to run things through our own filter, our own, critically thinking filters, and we need to have these open discussions and debates amongst ourselves, and we the people are the ones that need to decide for ourselves what it is that we should be doing, and we need to stop relying so much on these so-called leaders. Okay, they're not our leaders, guys. They do not care about you. They do not care about your families. Okay, they don't care if you live or die, and they don't care if you're poor and penniless and you're homeless and you're on the street, begging for food. These people do not care about this earth. They do not care about the environment. They do not care about creation. All they care about is their money, their wealth, their resources, and getting more of it, and controlling you. Controlling you, okay? Now, I'm not saying any of this to upset anybody. I'm not saying any of this to get anybody to act out violently or anything like that. That's not what this is about. This is simply about, I feel, doing our due diligence as people, as free peoples of this earth, and really acting on our basic God-given birthrights to simply live and be free, autonomous, sovereign people here on this beautiful earth, this paradise that we've been given by the Creator. That's all I'm saying, is we have these rights. They're inalienable, basic, God-given birthrights. Because we simply breathe, we have these rights, and they do not need to be given to us by the Constitution or by any government, by any form of authority. We simply have these basic rights as spiritual beings having a human experience. And so it is our right to assemble it is peaceably. It is our right to protect ourselves and our families. It is our right to question authority and question the narrative of these individuals. So some of you are probably like, wow, this video kind of took a different turn. But make no mistake that everything I'm talking about has a very spiritual purpose to it. Because, guys, if we're physically enslaved, okay, if we're, if it comes down to it and they're trying to cart us off, and they're trying to separate us from our families, and they're trying to tell us, well, we can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't go there, and you can't do that, and I get it, this virus and the dangers of that, and I'm not here to debate that per se, but when they start to use a pandemic, a crisis like this to implement their agendas and further erode our freedoms, okay, and in further, inducing more slavery, then that I have a problem with. That I have a big problem with, and that I will always start to fight back against. And I'm talking about fighting with this, guys. I'm talking about fighting with your minds. I'm talking about fighting with this, fighting with your hearts. Okay, we all have the opportunity right now to connect together and to fight with our hearts and our minds against that which is being perpetrated against us, all under the guise of this virus, this pandemic. So I'm not here to debate whether there's a virus or not. I'm not saying there isn't a virus. I'm not saying that people haven't been affected by this and people haven't died from this. It's not here to debate that at all. I'm just saying that they are making it seem worse than it is, and through this crisis, they're taking the opportunities to really put into place controls for the future that will really begin to erode our freedoms now more than ever, so that we will be even more enslaved to these leaders, these dictators, these authoritarian figures. So I just want to make people aware, guys. I don't want to instill a bunch of fear. I'm not here to fearmonger at all. I just want to make you aware that these things are going on. And if you want me to point to specific things, well, there's the surveillance, community, and that is been out of control for a very, very long time. But now through this crisis, it's going to be even worse, and it is. And you guys know about some of the stories out there that's going on with just the drones and our phones and everything else. I don't want to get too much into that, but again, from a spiritual perspective, guys, let's bring it back around. From a spiritual perspective, this really gives us an opportunity to connect with ourselves spiritually, and to connect with each other as a spiritual people, and begin to really ask the question, what is it that is really best for us? Because these people, right, these dictators, these authoritarian figures, these leaders, think that they know what's best for us. Well, it's time for us to start questioning not only what they believe, but it's time for us to ask that question of ourselves. What is it we really do want as a people? We want to be more free. Well, what does that look like, right? What does a more free and open society look like, right? Less censorship, more rights, guaranteeing freedoms and things like that. And what exactly is it? Does it look like? What do we really want as a people, and how do we get that? How do we maintain that for ourselves? And so, we really need a reform, a giant, massive reform in government and whatnot, and to really begin to enact some real positive change in those areas so that we can govern ourselves. Because, guys, it's supposed to be a government uh, by the people, for the people, and it hasn't been that for a very, very long time. Our voice is no longer heard. Quite the opposite, right? Dissent is silenced. Dissenters are silenced, right? The no questions are answered. Everything's hidden, right? So it's time for us just to take back, our power. So we have the power, but it's time for us to stand in that power, unified together, guys, together. So that's not going to happen overnight. Everything I'm talking about is not going to happen overnight. This is a gradual process, but this is a very powerful time. Just know that that's why all of this is happening, because we're being afforded the opportunity to take what's coming, to take this time to enact these very great positive changes, for ourselves, not only for ourselves, but for future generations, for generations to come. And make no mistake, humanity, we are at a crossroads. We stand at a precipice right now. We're teetering on the edge, guys. And if we don't take the correct action right now, we are headed down a path that we are not going to like very much. I'll tell you that right now. So, but again, this is a beautiful opportunity for us to be able to seize and enact some real positive change for generations to come. So if we take the opportunity, if we take the time, if we ask the right questions, and begin to come together as community, right? As a people, as family, as a spiritual family, we can begin to really tip those scales. We can balance out the power structure once and for all, so that there is more of just a nice, more of a balance, to everything, to our lives, to the money system, to the environment, and what have we seen, for what has happened with the environment? It's been a blessing in disguise, right? There's been less traffic, less pollution, less manufacturing, right? The earth has been able to, have a break and just heal. And so, but there are things that we can do to make that, more of a permanent solution. There's things that we can do. We can, drive less, and we can, work a little bit less if we can afford that. And there's just things that we can do. We can, there's all kinds of opportunities and possibilities out there, guys. Now more than ever. So, again, their agenda is always going to be enslavement, guys. That's never going to change. But our agenda, right, is a very special one. It's a very spiritual agenda, and it's a very empowering mission. So we're here to uplift. We're here to heal. We're here to inspire. We're here to simply love one another and help each other be the best people that we can be now and always. And so, if we are really truly here for each other, then that's exactly what's going to happen, and we'll see more and more of that in the world. And that's something that they're never going to be able to stop, guys. They're never going to be able to stop us wanting to help each other. They're never going to be able to stop people being empathetic and compassionate, and just uplifting each other, and wanting the best for each other. So they, as much as they are trying to stomp out a very humanity out of us, they I will never believe that they will succeed. I will never believe that in my heart, that they have that power to succeed. Um, I will never. Um, but we definitely have that power to, that choice to give up our power to them through fear, and then that's how they'll do it, by manipulation through that fear. But we are here, guys. We're here. We're able to take this opportunity, this chance, this once in a lifetime chance to to really turn things around. Really turn things around, not only in this country but around the world. As human beings, as spiritual beings, as light workers, we have the opportunity to really, really transform this this world. To really begin to bring the new heaven on earth here. And with that new heaven on earth, guys, that's the end. That's the end of all war. That's the end of suffering, right? That's the end of death. That's the end of poverty, right? No more hunger. Um, you know, all of it, disease gone, famine gone. That's what the Bible talks about. That's what heaven is, right? There's no more of that, right? There's no more of all the petty, unhealthy ego struggles of this third dimensional plane. It's all gone. So we have that opportunity to begin to make that a reality for ourselves, but we need to begin to question, and we need to begin to awaken. We need to begin to fight with our hearts and our minds, and really get together, guys, and make it happen for ourselves and for each other and collectively. And we have that very, very special opportunity. We have that power. Okay, we have that power to do that. Make no mistake. And it does remind me of the Gilets jaunes, the yellow vests, the French Revolution that happened just a few years ago. I believe that was 2018. They, of course, the media over here was covering all of the violence, and everything over there. But for the most part, the Gilets jaunes, the yellow vests, they were assembling very peacefully, and they simply were blocking roadways. And they did a lot of that. They were simply just blocking highways and bridges and roadways, and they just simply got together, guys. They just simply stopped working, refused to work, refused to be a cog in the wheel of the system, and just brought things to a halt for a little while. And ironically, we have that opportunity right now. A lot of people aren't working right now anyway. Businesses have been forced to close, right? And we have that opportunity to come together. And the only reason people probably really aren't, more is because of the stay home order, and people want to do what's right, and people want to be responsible, and they don't want to just go out willy nilly and endanger others and things like that. So they're respecting, right, authority, and they're respecting these orders, and I have as well. But at the same time, we have to question. We have to question. We have to think critically for ourselves. We have to think with our own minds. We have to own our own minds, and we have to think outside the box, because we've been lied to before, guys. We've been led astray before. We've been deceived massively. And we still today are being deceived in many, many different areas of in different ways, in our lives, through this government, and administration, and just through just through the military industrial complex alone. there's massive amount of deception, control, and deceit. So it is our patriotic duty in this country to question authority, to question everything that is going on, to question the story and the narrative. But we do have that opportunity, guys, right now to get out there, to have your voice be heard, and with all of this kind of coming to an end, and dying down right now. Um, States are getting ready to reopen, and it's still going to take time. It's going to be gradual. It's not going to be this, whoa, everything's open and people are just going to be out in droves. I get that, but we can still begin to assemble again, guys, and get out there and have your voice be heard, and just let these leaders, these politicians, these so-called rulers of the world, let them know exactly what we're thinking and how we feel, and what we want. But we have to be clear about what we want, or else we're never going to get it, guys. So it's time for us to start to take the power back, and to empower ourselves spiritually as spiritual people. So we are all powerful with the love of the one true Creator in our hearts, and we have that power to transform ourselves, to transform our lives and the lives of those around us. And we, together with that powerful unconditional love in our hearts, we can do all things as a people, guys and gals. We are just very sacred, very spiritual, special beings here, and we are so loved by the Creator to a level we can barely comprehend, and we are just so loved and so blessed to be here, to be alive right now, and to have the opportunities that are being afforded to us right now. So I really encourage all of you to do your own research. I always encourage all of you to not believe a dang word that I say, but to do your own research, and then go from there and make up your own minds about anything. Not only that I'm talking about, but of course, anything that you read. Question everything, guys. Always, 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 always. No matter who it's coming from. We that is our. I feel like our basic patriotic civic duty in this country to think critically, for ourselves, to own our own minds, and to question everything, because if we don't, we're going to get more of the same that we've just been getting, and things are not going to change, and things aren't going to get any better in this country. It's going to continue to go the way it's been going. And I don't know about you guys, but I do not want my children growing up as slaves to the corporatocracy in this country. So I know better. I know that's not going to happen. I know we aren't going to allow that to happen. And I already know the outcome, and I'm very excited, because we have a very bright future ahead of us, indeed, guys. That's why all of this is happening. So there's a lot of positive and good things that are coming. So just hang in there, guys. Continue to do what you're doing, and feed yourselves all that is good for yourselves, and healthy, and positive, and uplifting, inspiring, and healing. So continue to do the good things, for yourself, for your families, and the community out there. Show the world who you really are. Don't hold back, and let your light shine. Let your light shine, guys, now more than ever. So this video has gotten a little lengthy. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Feel free to leave me any comments, guys, down below. This is a new channel for me, so thank you for the support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe, and again, thank you for the support. Appreciate it, guys.